Hi guys, Firelight here with another cosplay tip of the week. Woo! This week I decided to talk about something that, if you are a beginner cosplayer, is probably a great source of frustration for you. And even if you are well versed in cosplay, this can be a continual source of frustration. I know that I've messed up projects by using the wrong adhesive, which is what we're going to talk about today. Basically, I wanted to talk about the 5 adhesives that I use most often, why I use them, and where I might recommend using them. So let's get to it. First one first is probably the first one that you as a beginner cosplayer will use and probably will continue to use as you go through your cosplay career, and that's hot glue. Okay, so here's my little hot glue gun. I know I got props this week. Yay. These are super, you can get them anywhere. Walmart, Target, Joann's, super cheap. The big benefit of hot glue, and the reason I come back to it constantly, is that it is one of the few adhesives that is non-soluble, meaning that it's not going to soak into the material that you're using, which means that this is really, a lot of times, a really universal adhesive. I've used it on fabric, I've used it on foam, I've used it on leather, on armor, on props, you name it, I've used hot glue on. But the big downside with hot glue is not that it melts. Everyone's always like, oh, you can't use it because it's going to melt. Yes, it gets weak and it'll eventually fail. But the weakness is not due to the heat. The weakness is due to the fact that hot glue, once dried, is not flexible. It is rigid. Okay? So if you are using it anywhere that you are going to have any sort of flex, it will eventually fail. Guaranteed. It doesn't matter what fabric or what material you're using it on. If you are using it at a point where there is flexion, it will fail. Okay? So use it wisely. The second one that I tend to use is good old super glue. 1 part epoxy. Okay? This stuff goes on clear. It'll adhere just about anything within about 60 seconds. And yeah, it's pretty handy. I use this a lot on jewelry and small parts. It doesn't have a huge tensile strength, meaning it doesn't have a lot of, it won't hold if there's a lot of stress on it, which is why it's really good for small detail work. I hardly ever use the tops, and oh, this one's not glued up. Usually these parts are glued on because I take such poor care of my glue, but I'll often use a needle and dip a needle in there and then take the needle and put it where I need the glue, and this allows me to get a fine amount of super glue wherever I need it. So that's my other go-to. Moving up is 2-part epoxies. So you can use a 2-part epoxy like super glue there, like 5-minute and 60-second epoxies. They have the same properties as super glue, but they're much more strong as far as the amount of PSI that they can report. For your thermoplastics, for Sintra, for Warbler, I even use it on leather sometimes. I use Defcon. Okay. This may confuse people because there are literally, Defcon is a brand, and there are like 12 different types of Defcon. The one I use most is this one, the plastic welder. Okay. It comes out as a cream color. It stinks to high heaven. Oh God, it smells so bad. But it'll hold. It does get hot, so it is not really appropriate for anything that is going to get ruined by heat, such as foam or warp. I've even had 1 mil Sintra warp a little bit with this stuff. So basically, you squeeze it out, equal parts out, mix it up, boom, hold for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then when you let go, it takes about another couple hours to cure, but then it's going to be hard. Really, really, really hard. Check twice, glue once with Defcon. Check twice, glue once, because you're not going to get it back off without a lot of work. The other I use for foam and for sometimes fabric, anything that needs to have flexion. Defcon is rigid. Super glue is rigid as well. Neither of these will flex. If I need flexion, so yay, I use contact cement. So here's wood weld, and then here's my favorite barge. Either of these will work. I have used them interchangeably. I like the barge a little bit better. I think it sticks a little bit faster than the wood weld or the contact weld, contact cement, weld wood. This thing. I like this because it comes with a convenient little brush. See, brush. But for all of my Liara build, for my gauge arm, anything that uses the EVA foam, I use the barge. I like it. Finally, a type of adhesive that a lot of people overlook is our iron-on adhesives. Obviously, these are great for fabric, but I really like these for anything that you can iron that needs a little bit of flexion. So I use this with Shape, which is a material I'll talk about in another one of these things, whatever these things are. But you can use this for hemming things. You can use this for securing things onto fabric. As long as you can press and hold the iron for about 10 seconds without the heat warping. I have used it on leather, but it was just to add details on, so I don't know how it performs as far as long term. But I use this a lot for fabric stuff. It comes in these little rolls, but it also comes in a sheet. The type I use is Heat and Bond. So those are the 5 most basic types of adhesives that I use. I am very interchangeable with them. I will use every type of adhesive on a project, just depending on what I need. So remember, your epoxies are pretty rigid, but they have the greatest holding strength. And your contact cement and your iron-on adhesives have the ability to flex, but don't have as good of tactile strength. And then your hot glue is great, but please do not cripple yourself by depending only on it. It will fail. So coming up, if you are a Phoenix local, I will be at Game On Expo at the end of the month. Yay, I'm so excited. You can look at my Drenai will be there. So I will be ridiculously tall. Yay. I will also be Gauge on Sunday. We're going to have a Borderlands meetup. So if you're a Borderlands cosplayer, come on down on Sunday and we'll derp together. Who knows? I don't know what I'm wearing on Friday. Don't ask me that. And then after that, I have San Jose Wizard World in September. I'm super excited. My first California convention as a guest. So big thanks to them for having me. And I hope to see you all there. As always, leave me any questions or comments. If you have any topics that you want to suggest for one of these tip of the week thingies, just let me know. Send me a message. Comment, like, subscribe. If I can steal that from Felicia Day, who I love very, very much. Like, subscribe. All right. Once again, thanks for watching and stay frosty. Bye, guys.